Welcome to MMAPlay365. I'm Newsome and I'm here to give you a Base AI recap from the UFC prediction software from last weekend's event at UFC Vegas 65. Now, the event was a little bit lower from an overall pick prediction that we normally like. It was around 55%, which, like I said, is lower than what we like to aim at and lower than what Base AI usually hits at as well. However, just to be a little bit real here, we did lose the main event. The AI did pick Sergey Spivak to win that fight, and although we didn't see the fight and, there was always that chance Derek Lewis could have knocked him out, I did personally think that Spivak did have a really good fight ahead of him, so I kind of feel like we were lost of a win in that fight due to the fight being cancelled halfway through the event. And also, again, just keeping it really real, the AI did pick Zhalgas Zhumagulov to beat Charles Johnson, which in my opinion was a terrible decision giving it to Charles Johnson. I don't think I would go as far as it being a straight up robbery, but it was definitely a fight where, the judges should clearly be doing a better job at this point, and they're just not. So again, I kind of feel like we're a couple of losses or a couple of wins short on the overall pick prediction, but it is what it is, and we'll break down some of the fights that Base AI went with and their overall results. And the first fight that we're going to start with is actually one in the value section. Now, this is a prediction that Base AI ultimately did get incorrect, but also said that the line was inaccurate and the line should have been a little bit closer. It was also a fight that I bet as well because I thought the line was completely off, so I definitely agreed with Base AI's in regard to the line just being way too wide here. And that fight is Jennifer Maia versus Maryna Moroz. Now, Base AI had Maia to win at 43%. Odds implied on 43% is plus 133. And depending on when you bet Maia, I actually bet Maia quite early, to be honest. And I think I did miss a little bit of extra value. But you could have got Maia from anywhere between plus 150 and plus 170. And you could have even found her in the middle of that at around plus 160, plus 165 as well. So there was plenty of value on Maia. So even if you didn't agree with Base AI, or if you were playing the value game here, there was value in there. Not a load of value, like sometimes we see some plus 100s that are coming out at plus 200, but there was definite value there on Jennifer Maia's money line. And like I said, it was a fight that was comfortable for Maia, and, that value did show from Base AI's prediction. And now moving into the solid winners section. Now, I don't normally do this for obvious reasons, but I just want to try and give this fight as much justice as I possibly can. And the first solid winner, I'm going with Zhalgas Zhumagulov versus Charles Johnson. Now, Zhumagulov to win was 53%. Now, I know Zhumagulov technically didn't win the fight, but you watch the fight and listen, this game's all about making good bets and finding value. And I feel that Zhumagulov should have won the fight. I think it was relatively clear, 29-28. I genuinely feel bad for anybody that did bet Zhumagulov because, like I've already said, in my opinion, he won the fight, but also it was absolutely the right side to bet as well. Now, like I said, Base AI had Zhumagulov to win at 53%. Odds implied on that is minus 113, and you could have had Zhumagulov at plus 140, plus 150. So there was an insane amount of value on the betting line when you're comparing it to Base AI's prediction. And like I said, if you did bet Zhumagulov, ultimately, it would have been a losing betting ticket. However, it should have been a cash betting ticket. And if you keep betting this sort of value long term, you will win more often than not, especially when the value is proving a good plus money ticket as well. So again, I am putting it in the solid winners section because it should have been a solid winner, but ultimately, like I said, the judges just aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing and judging fights correctly. And in the next fight in the solid winners section, we've got Miles Johns versus Vince Morales. Now, sure, this wasn't a massively entertaining fight. There was a lot of, I wouldn't say stalling, but a feeling out process. It was very slow paced. I think both fighters just ultimately respected the power from the opposite side, which you can understand. But Base AI had Miles Johns to win at 60%. It's 60%, odds implied on that is minus 150. Now, there may have been value for you, there may not have been value for you. It all depends on when you bet Miles Johns, because Miles Johns was sitting for quite a while at around minus 140. So obviously you do have some value there because Base AI is saying that Miles Johns should be minus 150. However, if you did leave it long, maybe bet the closing line as well, then you would have been hitting around minus 170, and there the value will have been sucked out from the straight pick prediction from Miles Johns and Bays AI. So again, it was a solid prediction because Johns won relatively comfortably all in all. And like I said, there would have been some value early on, halfway through fight week as well. So yeah, another solid prediction from Bays there. And in the final solid winners fight that we're going to discuss and break down here is actually a really good one in my opinion, because we've got Muslim Salikhov versus Andre Fialho. Now Salikhov to win, Bays AI had at 55%. Odds implied on that is -122. Now again, depending on when you bet Salikhov, or if you bet Salikhov, depends on when you or where you got that value. So what I mean by that is Salikhov was -180 early in fight week and at open as well, but then he went all the way down to -110. I think he even hit -105 at some bookies as well. So on that 55%, you've got -122. If you bet it early, probably didn't get that value, but if you left it late and you was just watching the betting line move, then you would have definitely got some value. And again, it was a fight that in the end was comfortable for Salikhov after a scary first round for him. But like I said, there was good value there at 55% when you watch the fight and how it played out. And again, you'd have just have to have left it a little bit late to bet the fight. But listen, the line was trending anyway in favour of Salikhov, so there was no need to rush to bet him early because the line just kept on sinking. So we're going to take this one step further. Salikhov inside the distance, that's the knockout and submission percentages added together, and you get 38% for Salikhov to win inside the distance according to Bays AI. Odds implied on Bays AI's prediction is +163, but you could have got a +200 to +275 betting ticket depending on where you bet that inside the distance bet. Again, like I said, getting up to +275 when Bays AI is saying it should be +163 is an insane amount of value, and again, a ticket that absolutely would have cashed for you. Then we're going to take it just one step further here, because listen, Muslim Salikhov isn't a submission artist, he's more of a knockout artist, kickboxing background, so you might just not want to have had anything to do with the submission because of the low percentage chance that actually would have played out that way. So if you wanted Salikhov just straight by KO TKO, then that would have been 34%. Now on 34%, odds implied, that's +194 according to Bays AI's prediction. The ticket, the cashed betting ticket, will have been anywhere from +280 to +320. So again, an insane amount of value there as well. So whichever way you wanted to bet Muslim Salikhov in this fight, apart from the submission, but you would never have bet the submission as it was only around 4% anyway, you would have been winning, you would have been cashing a betting ticket, whether that's Salikhov moneyline, Salikhov to win inside the distance, or Salikhov to knock Andre Fialho out. And finally, to wrap up here, we are transparent at MMAPlay365 with absolutely everything we do. Otherwise, there is absolutely no point in doing what we do. So we're going to move into the bad losses section. Now, again, this doesn't pop up every week. I think it will probably pop up maybe once every 2 or 3 weeks. It's never frequent, but every now and again, just like with any technology, AI, algorithms, there's always going to be the odd anomalies, and we have one for this event. So Della Maddalena versus Danny Roberts. Now Bays AI had Danny Roberts to win at 50.21%, which is odds implied, it's -101. Danny Roberts was +500. Maddalena to win was 49.79%. Odds implied on that +101. Maddalena was anywhere between -350 at open, closed at around -700. So this does constitute as a bad prediction from Bays AI. From my perspective personally, I think Maddalena was always a comfortable win pre-fight, and obviously it played out like that. He just lit Roberts up, he finished him in the first round. But not only that, the bookies knew at -350 that it was going to be a comfortable fight for Maddalena. The public drove that line to -700 as well, so the public knew it also. And then you've got Bays AI that's slightly favouring Danny Roberts, which, like I said, when I saw that, it did raise my eyebrows. I was very surprised. I didn't think that Roberts would be anywhere close to being favoured. I thought that Maddalena would have been high 60s, maybe into the 70s, but like I said, AI technology and algorithms, obviously there's always going to be those odd anomalies, and that was just one of them. So listen, that wraps up the Bays AI recap for UFC Vegas 65. We're obviously on a break next week, so We'll be back the week after with the breakdown from UFC Orlando, which is a phenomenal fight night card, a lot of fights as well. So I'm really excited to see what Base AI, the UFC prediction software, is digging up for those fights. And like I said, we'll be back in a couple of weeks. So thanks for listening. I'm Newsome. We'll see you again next time.